of saying invisible. When I was 19, I took a second job to help pay for Michelle's college applications. She got into a prestigious university. Our parents threw her a party. I was not even thanked. I paid the deposit for her dorm. Nobody asked if I had the money. They just assumed I would handle it. I always handled it. By the time I turned 28, I was working as a property developer. I had built a decent career. I had money saved. I had learned to read contracts, understand liens, navigate property law. My parents never asked about my work. They only called when they needed something: a car repair, an overdue credit card, a medical bill. I wired the money every time. I never said no. 8 years ago, my parents lost their house. My father had made bad investments. My mother had taken loans she could not repay. The foreclosure notice arrived on a Tuesday. My mother called me that same night, sobbing. She said they had nowhere to go. She said Michelle could not help because she was focused on her new marriage and her career. She said I was their only hope. I bought the house back, not in their names, in mine. I told them I was helping them refinance. I told them the bank required my name on the title for approval. They believed me. They signed the papers without reading them. I paid the full amount, $240,000. I cleared the liens. I covered the back taxes. I made it mine. Then I told them they could live there, rent-free, forever, as long as they needed it. My mother cried tears of relief. My father hugged me. Michelle sent a text that said, "Thank God you stepped up." Nobody asked what it cost me. Nobody asked if I was okay. Nobody asked if I wanted something in return. So I did not tell them. I just kept paying. Mortgage, property taxes, homeowner insurance, maintenance, repairs, utilities when they have fell behind. Over the years, I have spent over $210,000 keeping that house standing and keeping them comfortable. Michelle moved in with her husband Kyle 2 years after the rescue. She said it was temporary. That was 6 years ago. They remodeled the kitchen with money I wired them for an emergency. They built a deck with funds I sent for roof repairs. They threw birthday parties and holiday dinners and never once invited me to help plan or even set a table. I have a daughter. Her name is Emma. She is 7 years old. Her mother left us when Emma was 2. It has been just the 2 of us ever since. My parents have met Emma 4 times. Michelle has met her twice. They do not ask about her. They do not send birthday cards. They do not call to check in. Tonight is Christmas Eve. I am standing in my apartment, staring at the carefully wrapped gifts I bought for my nieces. Dolls, art sets, books. I spent hours picking them out. I thought maybe this year would be different. Maybe this year they would let me in. Maybe this year they would see me as more than the bank account they never acknowledge. The snow outside is falling fast. The roads are getting dangerous. The weather report warned against travel. But I am going anyway, because that is what I do. I show up. I give. I hope. I load the gifts into my car. I check my phone. No messages, no calls. I take a breath. Then I start driving. The drive takes 40 minutes through blinding snow. My windshield wipers struggle to keep up. The roads are slick. Twice I nearly slide off the pavement. But I keep going. I can see the house in the distance. The windows glow warm with light. I can hear faint music, laughter. I imagine my nieces running around in matching pajamas. I imagine my parents sitting by the fireplace. I imagine Michelle pouring wine and smiling. I park at the curb. I grab the gifts from the back seat. My hands are shaking from the cold. My breath fogs in the air. I walk up the driveway carefully. The decorations are new this year, expensive. I wonder if I paid for them indirectly. I probably did. I reach the front door. I knock. 3 times, firm but polite. I wait. I hear footsteps inside. Heavy, quick. The door swings open. It is Michelle. She is wearing a red sweater and dark jeans. Her hair is curled. She looks perfect. She looks like someone who has never worried about a mortgage payment or a property lien. She looks at me. Her face does not soften, her eyes narrow. "Ryan," she says. Her tone is flat, cold. "Hey, Michelle, Merry Christmas. I brought gifts for the girls." I hold up the bags. I try to smile. I try to look casual. She does not move. She does not open the door wider. She just stands there, blocking the entrance. Her hand grips the doorframe. "We do not need you ruining tonight. Go." The words hit me like a slap. I blink. I process what she just said. I look past her. I can see my parents in the living room. They are laughing. My father's holding a glass of whiskey. My mother is adjusting ornaments on the tree. Neither of them looks toward the door. "I just wanted to drop these off. I drove through a snowstorm to get here." "We did not ask you to do that." Her voice is sharp, final. "They are for the kids, Michelle. We have enough. You can go now." She steps back. She closes the door. It shuts with a soft click. I stand there, frozen. The gifts are still in my hands. The snow is falling on my shoulders. I hear the music inside get louder. Someone laughs. It sounds like Kyle. I walk back to my car. Slowly. My legs feel heavy. My chest feels tight. I open the door. I sit down. I put the gifts on the passenger seat. I stare at the house. The lights, the warmth, the family I do not belong to. My phone buzzes. I glance down. It is a text. From Kyle, Michelle's husband. I open it without thinking. Can't believe he actually showed up. What a joke. I read it twice, 3 times. My jaw tightens. My hands grip the steering wheel. He meant to send that to someone else. Probably Michelle. Probably my parents. Probably everyone inside that house who thinks I am pathetic, who thinks I am desperate, who thinks I am the punchline. I do not reply. I do not text back. I do not call. I just sit there. The snow piles up on my windshield. The engine idles. My breath fogs the glass. Then I open my phone again. I navigate to my property management app. I scroll to the document vault. I find the file I need. The property title. The deed. The legal record that says I own that house. Every beam. Every nail. Every inch of land. I open the access settings. My parents have shared viewing rights. So does Michelle. So does Kyle. They use it to check the property value, to brag about the house they think they own, to feel secure. I revoke their access, all of them, with one tap. Then I lock the document vault with a new password. I close the app. I sit back. The clock on my dashboard reads 11:47 p.m. Christmas Eve is almost over. I put the car in drive. I pull away from the curb. I do not look back at the house. I do not cry. I do not scream. I just drive home through the snow. By the time I reach my apartment, it is 12:15 a.m. Christmas Day. I walk inside. I check my phone. No messages. No calls. Not yet. I do not sleep. I sit on my couch. The gifts are still in the car. Emma is with her grandmother on her mother's side for Christmas. It is just me. The silence is thick, the kind that presses against your chest and makes it hard to breathe. I replay the moment over and over. Michelle's face, her voice, the way she said, "We do not need you ruining tonight. Go." Like I was trash, like I was an inconvenience, like I was nothing. I think about the text, Kyle's words. Can't believe he actually showed up. What a joke. A joke. That is what I am to them. A punchline. The guy who shows up when he is not wanted. The guy who gives and never gets a thank you. The guy who saved their house and let them pretend it was theirs. I have spent 8 years protecting them, paying for them, quietly shouldering the weight of their mistakes and their arrogance. And tonight they shut the door in my face. They laughed at me. They mocked me behind my back. I get up. I walk to the kitchen. I pour a glass of water. My hands are steady now. My mind is clear. The numbness is fading. Something else is rising. Something cold. Something final. I have receipts. I have bank statements. I have property tax records going back 8 years. I have proof of every wire transfer, every mortgage payment, every insurance premium. I have emails where my mother begged for help. I have texts where my father promised to pay me back someday. Someday never came. I have the deed, the title, the legal power. I have everything, and they have nothing. I sit back down. I open my laptop. I create a folder. I label it Property documentation. I start compiling everything. Payment histories, title records, tax receipts, maintenance logs. It takes 2 hours. By the time I am done, the sun is rising. The sky is pink and orange. Christmas morning light spills through my window. My phone is still silent. No calls, no messages. They have not noticed yet. They are probably still asleep, still warm, still secure in the house they think they own. I think about my daughter, Emma, the way she smiles when she sees snow, the way she asks me every year if we can visit Grandma and Grandpa for Christmas. I always make excuses. I tell her they are busy. I tell her maybe next year. I do not tell her the truth. I do not tell her that her grandparents forgot she exists, that her aunt does not care, that her family is a lie. I close my eyes. I think about what comes next. I think about the fallout, the anger, the blame, the desperate calls. I think about how they will beg, how they will promise, how they will try to guilt me into saving them again. But I am done saving them. I am done being the invisible provider. I am done being the joke. I open my eyes. I check my phone one more time. Still nothing. I put it on the coffee table. Then I go to the kitchen. I make coffee. I sit at the table. I wait. I was 16 when I first realized I did not matter. Michelle was 13. It was her birthday. My parents threw her a party. They rented a venue. They hired a DJ. They invited 50 people. The cake had 3 tiers. She got a laptop, a new phone, a shopping spree. 2 months earlier, it had been my birthday. My parents took me to a diner. They bought me a used bike from a garage sale. My father said, "You are practical, Ryan. You do not need all that fancy stuff." Michelle opened her laptop at the party and said, "This is amazing." My mother hugged her and said, "You deserve the world, sweetheart." I sat in the corner. I ate cake. I smiled when people looked at me. Nobody asked how I was. Nobody noticed I was. There. When I was 19, I saved up $3,000 working 2 jobs. I wanted to buy a car. I needed reliable transportation for work. I told my parents. My father nodded. He said, "That is smart, son." A week later, Michelle needed money for a spring break trip with her friends. My parents asked me if I could lend them the $3,000, just temporarily. They promised to pay me back. I gave them the money. Michelle went to Mexico. I kept riding the bus. They never paid me back. When I asked about it months later, my mother said, "Ryan, do not be selfish. Family helps family." When I was 24, I got a promotion. I was proud. I called my parents to tell them. My father said, "That is good, Ryan." Then he said, "Michelle got engaged. We are planning the wedding. Can you help with the deposit for the venue?" I helped. I wired $5,000. At the wedding, my parents gave a speech. They thanked everyone. They thanked the wedding planner. They thanked the photographer. They did not mention me. When I was 28, I met someone. Her name was Sarah. We dated for 6 months. I was happy. I invited her to a family dinner. Michelle was there. Kyle was there. My parents were there. Sarah tried to make conversation. She asked Michelle about her job. Michelle barely responded. She spent the whole dinner on her phone. My mother kept talking about Michelle's promotion. My father kept refilling Kyle's glass. Sarah and I left early. She broke up with me 2 weeks later. She said, "Your family makes you invisible, Ryan, and you let them." She was right. When Emma was born, I called my parents. I was terrified. I was a single father. I needed support. My mother said, "Congratulations, Ryan." Then she said, "Michelle is pregnant too. We are so excited to be grandparents." They visited Michelle in the hospital 3 times. They bought her a crib, a stroller, a changing table. They visited me once. They stayed for 20 minutes. They never asked if I needed anything. Emma is 7 now. She has met her grandparents 4 times. 4 times in 7 years. They send her a card on her birthday. Sometimes. Last year they forgot. I have carried this weight for so long, the weight of being the one who gives, the one who sacrifices, the one who shows up. I thought maybe if I kept giving, they would see me. They would value me. They would love me the way they love Michelle. But they do not. They never will. And last night, they made that clear. I finish my coffee. I check my phone. Still nothing. It is 7:30 a.m. Christmas morning. The silence will not last much longer. The first call comes at 8:14 a.m. It is my mother. I stare at the screen. I let it ring. It goes to voicemail. 30 seconds later, she calls again. I let it ring again. At 8:20, my father calls. I do not answer. He calls 3 more times in the next 10 minutes. I silence my phone. I put it face down on the table. By 8:45, I have 17 missed calls. My mother, my father, Michelle, Kyle, my mother again, Michelle again. The notifications pile up like a snowstorm. I pick up the phone. I open the voicemail. My mother's voice is shaking. Ryan, please call me back. Something is wrong with the property account. We cannot access the title. Your father is panicking. Please call me. I delete the voicemail. I check the next one. It is Michelle. Her voice is sharp, angry. Ryan, what did you do? We cannot see the property documents. Did you change something? Call me, now. I delete it. The next voicemail is my father. He sounds desperate. Son, we need to talk. There is an issue with the house records. We cannot pull the title. Did the bank do something? Call us, please. I delete that one too. I put the phone down. I lean back on the couch. My chest feels light. My shoulders feel loose. For the first time in 8 years, I feel free. At 9 a.m., the texts start. My mother sends 5 messages in a row. Ryan, please answer. We need your help. Something is wrong with the house. Your father is having a panic attack. Please, Ryan. Michelle sends her own barrage. Pick up the phone. This is not funny. What did you do? You are being childish. Fix this, now. Kyle sends one message. Dude, seriously? I do not respond to any of them. I turn off notifications. I go to the kitchen. I make breakfast, eggs, toast, coffee. I eat slowly. I savor every bite. At 9:30, the doorbell rings. I freeze. I walk to the door. I look through the peephole. It is Michelle. Her face is red. Her eyes are wild. She is alone. I do not open the door. I just stand there, watching. She rings the bell again. She knocks, hard, loud. Ryan, I know you are in there. Open the door. I do not move. I do not speak. I just wait. She keeps knocking. She keeps yelling. Her voice cracks. You cannot do this. You cannot just lock us out. This is our home. I step closer to the door. I speak quietly, just loud enough for her to hear through the wood. No, Michelle, it is my home. It always was. There is silence. Then I hear her breath hitch. I hear her footsteps. She walks away, fast, angry. I go back to the couch. I check my phone. 62 missed calls now. 15 voicemails. 43 texts. I scroll through them. The tone shifts. First anger, then confusion, then desperation. My mother's latest text says, Ryan, please. We do not understand. Why are you doing this? We love you? I stare at those words. We love you. 3 words they have never said when it mattered. 3 words they use now because they are scared. Because they need something. Because they are finally realizing what they are about to lose. I put the phone down, close my eyes. I let the silence settle around me. For the first time in 8 years, I am not the one panicking. I am not the one scrambling. I am not the one fixing their mess. This time, they are on their own. I sit at my desk. I open my laptop. The folder I created earlier this morning is still open. Property documentation. I click through the files. Each one is a piece of evidence. Each one is a nail in their coffin. The first file is the original purchase agreement. 8 years ago, my name is the only name on the buyer line. My signature is the only signature that matters. The purchase price is listed clearly. $240,000, paid in full. No co-signers, no co-owners, just me. The second file is the deed, recorded with the county, public record, my name, my property. The legal description matches the address they live in, the address they decorated for Christmas, the address they think belongs to them. The third file is a spreadsheet. I created it 3 years ago. I update it every month. It tracks every single payment I have made. Mortgage payments, property taxes, homeowner insurance, HOA fees, roof repairs, plumbing fixes, HVAC maintenance, appliance replacements, landscaping, snow removal. Column A lists the date. Column B lists the expense category. Column C lists the amount. Column D lists the payment method. Column E lists notes. I scroll through 8 years of data. The total at the bottom is $209,863, over $200,000, not including the original purchase price. I export the spreadsheet to PDF. I save it. I name it 8 years of silence. The fourth file is a collection of text messages, screenshots, organized by year. My mother asking for money for Michelle's wedding. My father asking for money for a new furnace. Michelle asking for money to remodel the kitchen. Kyle asking for money to build a deck. Each request is followed by my response. A simple "I will handle it," or "wired," or "done." Not one of them says thank you. I create a second folder. I name it evidence of ownership. I move all the files into it. Then I create a third folder. I name it communications log. I export every text message, every email, every voicemail from the last 8 years. I organize them chronologically. I highlight the key phrases, the guilt trips, the manipulations, the dismissals, the cruelty. By the time I am done, it is 11 a.m. My phone is still blowing up. 73 missed calls now, 22 voicemails, 61 texts. I open my email. I draft a message. I address it to my parents. I CC Michelle and Kyle. The subject line reads, "Regarding the property at 428 Maple Street." I type slowly, carefully, precisely. To my family, I am writing to clarify a misunderstanding that appears to have caused confusion this morning. The property located at 428 Maple Street is owned solely by me. I purchased it 8 years ago with my own funds after your foreclosure. The title is in my name. The deed is in my name. The mortgage, taxes, insurance, and all associated expenses have been paid by me for the last 8 years. You were granted permission to live there rent-free as an act of goodwill. That permission was never a transfer of ownership. It was never a gift. It was a courtesy. Last night, I was turned away from your door on Christmas Eve. I was mocked. I was disrespected. I was treated as a joke. As of today, I am revoking your access to the property documentation. I will be reviewing my options regarding the continued use of my property. Do not contact me further unless it is through legal representation. Ryan. I read it 3 times. I check for typos. I check for emotion. There is none. Just facts. Just clarity. Just power. I hover over the send button. My finger pauses. I think about Emma. I think about my future. I think about the life I want to build without this weight, without this family, without this pain. I press send. The email delivers. I close my laptop. I lean back in my chair. My phone buzzes. I glance at the screen. It is my mother. I let it ring. Then my father. Then Michelle. Then Kyle. Then my mother again. I turn off my phone. I stand up. I walk to the window. The snow has stopped. The streets are clear. The sun is shining. Christmas morning looks peaceful. Clean. New. I take a breath. I let it out slowly. For the first time in 8 years, I feel like I own something that truly belongs to me. Not just a house, my dignity. 3 days after Christmas, I sit in my lawyer's office. His name is Greg. He is 52 years old. He has handled property disputes for 20 years. He knows the law better than anyone I have ever met. I hired him 2 years ago when I first started considering this exact scenario. Greg leans back in his chair. He taps his pen against a folder on his desk. Inside the folder is everything. The deed, the spreadsheet, the text messages, the emails, the proof. He looks at me. His expression is neutral, professional. "They are going to fight this," he says. "I know. They are going to claim you promised them the house. They are going to say it was a verbal agreement, a family arrangement. They are going to try to argue constructive ownership or equitable interest. Can they win?" Greg shakes his head. "No, the deed is ironclad. Your name is the only name on it. You have proof of payment for every expense. You have no written or recorded promise transferring ownership. Verbal agreements do not override recorded property titles, especially not when you have 8 years of documented financial responsibility. What about their remodel costs, the kitchen, the deck? Will they argue they improved the property? They can try, but you have proof. You funded those projects, the wire transfers, the bank statements. They did not pay for improvements. You did. That kills any unjust enrichment claim. I nod. I feel the tension in my shoulders ease slightly. Greg continues. What do you want to do? Do you want to sell? Do you want to evict them? Do you want to negotiate a buyout? I think about it. I think about my mother's shaking voicemail, my father's desperate calls, Michelle's angry texts, Kyle's mocking message. I want them out, I say. I want to sell the house. I want to be done. Greg writes something down. He looks up. I will draft an eviction notice. 30 days. After that, if they do not leave, we file for formal eviction proceedings. It will take about 60 days total. Do it. He nods. He closes the folder. They are going to reach out to you. They are going to beg. They are going to threaten. They are going to try every manipulation tactic they know. Do not engage. Let me handle all communication. I will. Greg stands. He extends his hand. I shake it. His grip is firm, confident. You did the right thing, Ryan. Walking away from people who use you is not cruel. It is survival. I leave the office. I get in my car. My phone buzzes. I glance at it. It is a voicemail from my father. I delete it without listening. Then I block his number. I block my mother's number. I block Michelle's number. I block Kyle's number. I drive home. The roads are clear now. The snow has melted. The sky is gray but calm. I feel lighter than I have in years. 2 weeks later, the eviction notice is served. Greg emails me a copy. It is formal, legal, final. It gives them 30 days to vacate the property. After that, legal action will proceed. I do not hear from them directly, but I hear things. Through mutual acquaintances, through old family friends who still have my number. I hear that Michelle is furious, that she is telling people I am heartless, that I am stealing their home, that I am punishing them for one bad night. I hear that my mother is devastated, that she cries constantly, that she does not understand how her son could do this. I hear that my father is scrambling to find a lawyer, that he is trying to build a case, that he is claiming I verbally promised them the house. I hear that Kyle is silent, that he has not said a word, that he has not defended me, that he has not apologized. I do not respond to any of it. I do not engage. I do not explain. I just wait. 30 days pass. They do not leave. Greg files for formal eviction. The court date is set. I do not attend. Greg handles it. The judge reviews the evidence, the deed, the payment records, the text messages, the email I sent on Christmas morning. The judge rules in my favor. Immediate eviction, no extensions, no appeals. The sheriff enforces the order 3 days later. I am not there, but Greg sends me photos. The house is empty. The furniture is gone. The decorations are gone. The warmth is gone. I receive an email from the realtor. The house is listed. The price is set. The market is strong. It will sell quickly. I close my laptop. I sit in my apartment. I look at Emma sleeping in her room, peaceful, safe, loved. I think about the last 8 years, the weight I carried, the silence I endured, the family I tried to save. And I realize something. I did not lose a family. I escaped one. 6 months later, I close on a new house. It is smaller than the one I sold, but it is mine in a way that property never was. I chose it. I designed it. I filled it with furniture that Emma and I picked out together. There are no ghosts here, no guilt, no history of betrayal. Emma loves it. She has her own room. She painted the walls lavender. She hung fairy lights. She put up posters of her favorite characters. She smiles more now. She laughs louder. She does not ask about grandparents anymore. She does not ask why we do not visit family. She just lives, and that is enough. The house on Maple Street sold in 3 weeks. The buyer paid cash. I walked away with $412,000 after closing costs and agent fees. I put half in a trust for Emma. College, future, security. The other half I invested. For the first time in my adult life, I am not living paycheck to paycheck. I am not wiring money to people who do not appreciate it. I am not carrying anyone else's weight. I have not spoken to my parents since Christmas. I have not spoken to Michelle. I have not spoken to Kyle. I blocked their numbers. I blocked their emails. I deleted their social media. They do not exist in my world anymore. I heard through an old coworker that they moved into a small apartment across town, that my mother had to go back to work, that my father sold his car, that Michelle and Kyle are struggling, that they blame me for everything. I do not feel guilty. I do not feel sad. I feel relief. I think about the night they shut the door in my face. I think about Kyle's text. Can't believe he actually showed up. What a joke. I think about how small I felt in that moment, how worthless. But I was not the joke. They were. They spent 8 years living in a house I owned, spending money I gave them, mocking the person who saved them. And when the truth came out, they had nothing. No apologies, no gratitude, just anger that I finally stopped letting them use me. Emma and I spend weekends exploring our new neighborhood. We go to the park, we visit the library, we meet neighbors who smile and wave and remember our names. We build a life that is ours, not borrowed, not conditional, just ours. On a Sunday morning in June, we sit on the back porch. Emma is drawing, I am reading. The sun is warm, the air smells like fresh grass. My phone buzzes. I glance at it. It is a message from an unknown number. I open it. It is my mother. Ryan, I know you do not want to hear from me, but I need you to know something. I am sorry. I am sorry for everything. I am sorry we did not see you. I am sorry we did not appreciate you. I am sorry we hurt you. I do not expect you to forgive me. I just needed to say it. I read the message twice. I feel something. Not anger, not pain, just distance. Like reading about someone else's life. I do not respond. I put the phone down. I look at Emma. She is humming while she colors. She is happy. She is safe. She is loved. I realize that is all that matters. Not the apologies that come too late. Not the regrets that do not change anything. Just this moment, this peace, this freedom. I close my eyes. I let the sun warm my face. For the first time in 8 years, I am not waiting for someone to need me. I am not bracing for the next crisis. I am not invisible. I am free. And that is worth more than any house, any family, any amount of money. I am finally home.